Welcome back to the Airborne Podcast. I'm your host, Ajit. I'm my other host, Big Boy Bravs, and Thanos with us. And what a win.
What a win, man.
The Philadelphia 76ers go down to the Toronto Raptors, 110-103, behind Chris Boucher's 17 points, clutch threes in the fourth, 5 rebounds, 3 blocks. He had a dope block on the perimeter on Korkmaz, your boy, the guy you were talking about the other day. And Pascal in the first quarter, before I throw it to you guys, I just want to talk a little bit about Pascal. You know, he flirted with the triple-double, 23, 8, and 7. He was kind of the reason why we were in the game at the first quarter, holding it down with those little turnaround buckets and whatever in the paint. He had a couple shots beyond the arc, but steady Freddie, when we then went down in that first quarter, did you see that crazy three?
Yeah. Bro, that was better than Lowry's those and 1 threes again. Yeah, those ones.
But
that was crazy.
Fred VanVleet, I think he scored 13 in that.
He scored 13 points in that quarter. Yeah.
And then Pascal Siakam scored 9.
9, yeah.
And then I remember we were down 24-12, and all of a sudden I look back at the score. We're up 28-24 to end the first quarter.
Yo, I'm not even gonna lie. Like the start of the game, I actually thought we're gonna like lose the game. Because like from the way that from the first quarter, but then they changed my mind after that run they went on, that 16-0 run.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man.
I think they ended
when we were losing. When we were losing big, I was ready to leave. Like I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna turn off my TV, turn off everything.
Yeah,
don't even bother." But I'm like, "Yo, I have to do this podcast. They have to watch it. I have to suck it up." But,
they did. It was a 16-0 run to end the quarter, but I think overall it was a 20-2 run.
Yeah.
But
but did you see? Didn't Siakam's role or the way he played today reminds you a lot like pre-bubble? The spin-around, progression. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like I saw a little glimpse and I was like, finally he's back.
Yeah. So sorry. Can you pause it for a second? Sorry, just kidding.
So Siakam's spin-around remind me a lot like the pre-bubble where he, was spinning and like was aggressive, right? Mm-hmm. And then when the bubble happened, like I just felt like it was missing, and then because it was predictable, right? And then now he's being more aggressive and like he's adding more stuff to his more lethal plays.
In the bubble, he lost his confidence. He was indecisive when he did make the spin move because he would spin and then he would not have anywhere to go and then he would pass it and turn over the ball. Sure. Now his decision making is really quick. He knows what spots he wants to get to. He's getting back to that spicy P. He's putting the spice back in the P from before the bubble.
From mild P to spicy P.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, he overall, like I got to give him credit. These last 2 games, the Minnesota game, defensively, he was the reason why we were in that game to come back and win it. And then even this game, defensively, he was solid. Offensively, he was there in the first quarter when we needed him, just to keep the gap close, because the deficit was, it was opening up, and then he was the one making crucial buckets for us in that first quarter till Fred VanVleet turned it on, hitting those threes, unconscious from beyond the arc. I thought he was going for another 54-point game, to be honest. And I mean, we shot almost 50% from the field today, 49% to be exact, and we held them to under 40%, 39 to be exact.
Huge.
And bro, they're a high-power offensive scoring team, and we held them to about 103 points for the whole game.
Man, they're so lethal outside. Like they're so lethal. Like, man, Tobias Harris, Danny Green, Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Seth Curry. Seth Curry this season is like his stock level went like when the high like EB Games or GameStop, whatever it was.
GameStop. I think he's shooting the second highest percentage in NBA history from 3. He's like
make history, right?
Yeah, I think like a ridiculous amount, like 50%. And the only person that's above him and ahead of him is not his brother. His brother's coach.
Oh, Steve Kerr.
Yeah, and that's crazy though. But like, I mean, for the most part, they were able to hold their shooters down. Danny Green forgot he was a Philadelphia 76er at one point and started helping the
He's wearing a
Raptors
Raptors jersey underneath that Philly jersey.
with the turnovers and stuff. Turnovers, fouls, fouling out early, missing, turning the ball over, air ball shots. It was all of it.
Yo, one thing, like Danny Green isn't really like a star player. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
is a role player, right? But he emerged to have like fame and stuff because he came to the Raptors. He earned that starting roster rotation. But prior to all that, he was really a bench player.
Yeah. I mean, for him, his glow up started in that finals in 2013 when he was going off on Miami with the threes. He's
Yeah.
become a streaky shooter now, but when he gets hot, he's hot. And today he had 3 threes
For sure.
for the game. And I honestly thought, like, if you saw him in the previous like games against the Raptors, when he was on the Lakers and even on Philly this year, I think the first game, he couldn't make a shot for his life. And then today, he was making the shots.
Sure. But
And
before you move on to your next point,
yeah.
Yo, Nugent, can you call up York Region Police, yo? We need to file an Amber Alert here for my boy Utah.
Utah Watanabe did not see the court after getting baptized by Anthony Edwards last game.
Nugent, call up right now, yo. We need him, yo.
Yeah, I'll do it right now, bro. But have you seen what Kevin Hart said about
Yeah,
Utah?
I see that, man, Paul.
Bro, that was messed up, man.
He should have left the court and never came back. He should have left the league.
That's
He's
not
like prayers for his family and stuff, and I'm like, that's so disrespectful. You shouldn't even say that.
Bro, I mean, if you get posterized, you get posterized. Everyone gets made fun of. Look at Nate Robinson. He's a global meme right now, getting knocked out by Jake Paul. And with Danny Green, he helped us a lot today. Respect to Danny Green. Shout out to him. He's gonna get that ring. He's gonna get that ring and that celebration soon for almost turning the ball over and making us lose the finals. But
but he made us win today's game, so
yeah, I know. I mean, bro, like I love Danny Green. He was one of my favorite Raptors of all time. He has a sick podcast. He has a sick personality, and he's a good
Green
dude.
Ranger.
100% Green Ranger.
You're off topic, but yo, I met Danny Green in Yorkdale, and like legit, like this guy was so humble, yo. Like that line to meet him was super long. Any player would be like, yo, fuck it, I'm leaving, right? Like I'm gonna cut. Like beyond my 2 hour, like he promised a window of 2 hours, right? But he was like, yo, fuck it, I'm gonna cut. But this guy legit like was there for like 4 hours, I think. He was willing to meet all the fans, like yo, like he has heart, yo. So I appreciate him for that.
Yo, the Raptors support and like overall all over Canada, it's crazy for these guys who come and play for Toronto. Look at Lucas Bebe Nogueira, bro. Like he retired and he's like, I've never gotten love from my own country like I did in Toronto. From those Toronto fans when he played for us for 4 years.
Yo, another story about this guy, Bebe. So off topic again, but I met this guy in New York, right? Met him in New York, and we were after the next game. He was the only guy that was walking out of the team bus and walking around town. Yeah. So we ran into him, we spoke to him, whatever. He autographed us, whatever. And then the other day when he retired, I tweeted him. I'm like, yo, much love, thank you for all that stuff. He's like, brother, don't thank me, yo. Appreciate your love and support. And I'm like, geez, yo, this guy responded back to my tweet. I fangirled, yo. I'm like,
I can. That was one of the first Raptors you met?
No, that was one of the first Raptors that signed my We the North flag in the 2015 roster.
How'd you put on auction? It might go for like $3.
Times 500, yo.
I'm kidding. I actually did see. I saw Lucas Nogueira and Bruno when I went to Mexico. I saw them at the club.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I took a picture with Bruno Caboclo outside. When we went out for a little quick smoke. I saw him outside and we took a picture. He was pretty big, but like he was like smiling. It was literally his rookie season, I think. Rookie season.
Yeah, I think it was rookie.
Well, those off topic though, but I mean off camera. We'll talk our story.
Yeah. But it was funny though. It was funny because you see two big dudes just walking around the club, and I knew right away. I said it right away that was them, and then one of my boys like, no way. And then but back to the game. Free throws, bro. Did you see the free throw difference between us and Philadelphia in both games? I think they got ridiculous. They got like 30 plus attempts both times, and we only got about 11 to 15, I think, roughly. Today we had
no love.
Yeah, they had 35.
We had 18.
Yeah, they had 35. We had 18. That's a minus 17 for us.
That's messed up.
Dude, tell me how a small guy is gonna hurt Joel Embiid. You know what I mean? Like Joel Embiid is like a massive dude. Like
Yeah.
you're calling little fouls on little things, right?
Yeah.
Like, how else do you expect the little guy to guard him?
Ben Simmons was the one who was drawing the fouls at the beginning. He was
Yeah.
going off. He had a really good game. I think he had 28 points.
I think in the second quarter. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, sorry, go ahead.
You know, I think in the second quarter is when we started getting a lot of turnovers. Like
Yeah.
I think Norman had how many turnovers
6
turnovers
turnovers.
did he have?
6.
Yeah, he had a lot,
He didn't do that great tonight, but like I felt like the second quarter, like we could have done a bit better.
Danny Green had 5 steals, so I'm guessing those were all off of Norman Powell.
Yeah. Why didn't you do that for us?
I don't know. I really don't. I can't answer that question. But points off turnovers, though, we were losing. It was a pretty big difference for us at the beginning, but then we were able to catch up, and then we ended the game. We only -1 from points off turnovers, and rebounding, we were up -6. Offensive rebounds were -6. Huh?
Yeah, it wasn't about rebounding.
Aaron Baines, for the most part, defensively, he did a pretty decent job on Embiid. He actually did finish. I think he got 3 dunks and 1 layup off the backboard, but he had those 2 awful misses.
Yeah.
He saw our podcast.
Yeah, Kareem Abdul head bust. The guy tried to do a hook shot off the thing.
Yeah,
and he literally hit the side of the rim. Huh? Side of the backboard.
The backboard. Yeah.
Backboard. And then and Jack Armstrong, all he kept saying was, "My goodness. My goodness."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God Tampa Bay and Orlando are not far from each other. We can dump his ass in the G League bubble as soon as we sign DeMarcus Cousins.
I'm telling you. Now, but DeMarcus Cousins, though, I don't know. Like, them being 4-0 right now with the small ball lineup, I don't know if Masai's going to take that chance.
No, man. I know.
I don't think he's going to take that chance, to be honest.
I'm like this after our podcast that we spoke about DeMarcus today, and I'm like, yo, if they win today, we're gonna be known as small ball goats. We're not gonna be.
It didn't work. It didn't work in Houston. It's not going to work with us.
Yeah.
I mean, unless we play Brooklyn in the conference finals because they don't have a big. But there's a chance DeMarcus could get either Andre, Blake, or DeMarcus. Three-pointers, we were 14 to 34 for 41%, and they were 11 to 37 for 30%. Assists.
3 points today. Like we had some good wide open shots, right?
Yeah, we had Vanvleet in the first quarter making a lot, and then we had Boucher in the fourth making a lot.
Boucher was killing it tonight, man.
11 points, right? No, sorry, 17.
17. But in the third quarter, he hit back-to-back threes.
Yeah, that's what matters.
He had like 3 or 4 threes in that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yo, you know one guy that we're not talking about, and I want to give him a shout out. It's Bembry. I want to give Bembry a shout out.
Henry's been playing really good in the starting lineup for sure.
Yeah, he's been doing pretty good.
Shout out to DeAndre and Bembry. This guy, like, he isn't your your most spoken about player, but this guy grinds. This guy grinds and gets thick passes, wicked passes. I think there's a few plays where he just dunked the ball, right? Like it was like
that's what they go to. He literally dunks it and hangs on the rim for like a second and gets off.
Like a monkey.
He keeps it simple though.
Yeah. But
he keeps it simple though. Like he doesn't like the stats alone don't show much, but like he's doing his part.
He cuts.
Oh no.
Bro, these guys grinded this game out. You know, they never gave up, never gave in when they were down double digits. Yeah. They were down double digits twice. In the first quarter and in the third quarter, and they grinded out and came back both times. And I mean, OG, I want to talk a little bit about OG. OG defensively, I mean, he didn't make any threes this game. He had 10.6 rebounds, but defensively, he did a pretty solid job. I know Ben Simmons went off, but for the most part, when they collectively were defending the team, when it mattered most in the fourth quarter, they were able to get stops and capitalize and grow our biggest lead, which was double digits. I think they got it to like 10, I believe.
Yeah.
10 points. And then
he had some good buckets though, like in the paint. Yeah, he had some pretty nice, pretty tough he got some pretty tough shots up. Like there's one play where he bullied Simmons in the paint. He made this tough shot under the basket.
But in the fourth quarter though, there was a stretch there where we did not let them get a field goal for like 8 or 9 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. Like we've been able to do that for certain games, and it's kind of crazy to think about because you see sometimes how bad our defense can be, but then when it matters most in close games, they can actually bring it together and get stops when necessary. Even with the small ball lineup, obviously that's more of an advantage in Aaron Baines being in the lineup because they can switch everything. But Aaron Baines today, they needed him obviously because Embiid was going to abuse like
Sure,
Chris Boucher.
yeah.
You saw the little Hakeem dream shake he did on Boucher and then got an and one to put them up by double digits. Yeah, I think it was in the third quarter.
Third quarter,
I think it was the third. Yeah.
It's like what I was gonna say was all these calls on against us when we're regarding Joel Embiid is stupid. Like I don't think that they're fouls, but it is what it is. But one point I want to also make was Terrence Davis, right? The last video where he's talking about his charges were dropped and like it's like a free bird, right? Boom, look at today, right? It's what 8.4 rebounds, like that, like
Terrence Davis.
Oh, Terrence Davis, yeah, he hit a couple threes I think in the first half.
He had a nice jam in the third or fourth. I think
in the fourth quarter, yeah, he did.
Like his confidence is back. Remember last year, his confidence was like kind of low, like during the bubble and like
but during the season he was
he killed it.
He was dropping like 30, 35.
Yeah. Prior to the bubble, this is prior to his charge.
You think he's stressing out about his charges?
I think he was. I think that was the reason why. Because look, how do you go from a 30-point like if you see the difference between both like pre-bubble and bubble, like
he played more confident.
Yeah, but then also he wasn't fighting for minutes like he is this year, right? There's so many people at his position.
Like, I understand, but like you can tell like when you look at a player and see the way they play, it's like that hunger, right? And I guess you're right. Like when you need minutes, you'll fight for your minutes, right? I guess prior to like last year, prior to him exploding, he was fighting for minutes. He earned his spot and was killing it. And then
sorry, go ahead. Finish it.
And in the bubble, I didn't know what happened in the bubble. I think he was stressing about his sugar mama, but then
a lot of people said like the bubble was hectic because it was a 3 months where you had to literally stay in the bubble and absolutely just be stuck in your hotel room and you couldn't do nothing because that was when COVID was serious, right? But I did want to say, I mean, talking about Terrence Davis, he's hit, he got some minutes today based on his performance at the end of the game, last game against Minnesota. But he did have some really good games last season against Charlotte. He scored 25 points when he was inserted into the starting lineup. And then against Chicago, I think he dropped a 30 piece. But
to go on with Brav's point, like I've seen remember like before the charges got dropped, like you can tell how low his confidence was. Like he started playing like Stanley Johnson, when he's playing garbage minutes. When he couldn't shoot, he was scared. They switched roles pretty much. That's what I'm saying. So like I agree with what Brav said, but
100%.
I'm glad to see him back.
He wasn't the same player. I mean, everyone right now,
yeah.
Even though they're in Tampa, they're not in a bubble anymore. They're able to be around each other and spend time with other people, like family members and whatnot. But they just get tested like 100 times.
I'm sure they're missing Toronto, man. I'm sure they're missing.
Oh,
yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
There ain't no feeling like Toronto fans up in Scotiabank Arena.
Yeah, I'm sure Siakam would play much better in the Scotiabank Arena.
Imagine them coming back these last two games. I mean, obviously the other one was in Minnesota, but I'm talking about this game coming back. And I'm sure like a lot of the games that they lost in the beginning of the season, if we had a crowd, bro, we would have lost half those games for sure.
100%. Ajit, before you move on to your next point, what I was gonna say was, man, prior to this little run we're having, when we're down, we're down. Like we don't come back, right? That's inevitable, right? Like this season, when we were down, Like I didn't see the push to come back, right? But during this run in the past few games, man, like when we're down, we don't give up. Like you can see the grind. You can see them like I see glimpse of the old Raptors prior to this.
This little run that they have where they're finally over 500, 16 and 15, tied for fourth seed in the East. These type of like comeback games where they come from behind and win them. It kind of reminds me of the Raptor team from last season where everyone counted them out because we lost Hawaii in the offseason.
Sure.
And when that one game Kyle Lowry went off when we were down 30 to Dallas, and Rondae Hollis Jefferson, Chris Boucher, Kyle Lowry, Terrence Davis, all those guys work together to, bring that win home with the full packed up Scotiabank Arena, and everyone went nuts that night.
Yes, sir.
And like those are the type of wins that you kind of cherish the most because, when other teams will just fold and just go sit on the bench because they don't want to spend the extra energy trying to come back, fight all the way back and crawl back and get the W. These guys never give up. And they're starting to find that, and the new guys are starting to realize that, and they're starting to, gel together, and that culture is starting to rub off on everybody, and everyone's playing with that never give up mentality, no matter how many points they're down or how many points they're up.
The biggest difference between this season and like any season is that you have a preseason, you have like the summer league, and you have like a month or two just to like get to know your team, have team outings, and like create a bond, right? Just to make the flow and like everything working well.
Yeah.
But you're thrown into like the team right away. You don't have the opportunity to go out because of COVID. You can't really like do stuff together as a team because there's COVID protocols, right? That prevents you. So like it is harder to build a bond, but I see them getting along with each other. So
yeah, I don't think there's any problem with the locker room. I think everyone gels properly. It was just they just needed some time to figure out where everyone's best spots were in terms of the offense.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, 100%.
And that first 10 to 12 games where we were losing was kind of like a feeling out process, I think, where they didn't have a preseason, they didn't have that, like you said, summer league for the rookies, for them to feel out. Training camp wasn't there for that long, and now they're finally starting to figure it out. And when Larry comes back, hopefully nothing changes because he's been out for the past 3 games now, right? Defensively, I was talking about this earlier. We only had 5 steals. Philly had 8, so we're -3. I think Danny Green had as many steals as our whole team this game. And blocks wise, we had 5. They had 7. We were -2. Turnovers, we had 14. They had 10. We were -4. And points in the paint, even though they had Joel Embiid, we were +8. We had 44. They had 36. And second chance points, we only had 7. They had 15, so we were -8. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there because, I mean, steals and blocks is a big thing with guys like Boucher and Fred VanVleet on our team, right? Those guys,
OG.
OG Anunoby and Fred VanVleet with the steals, Pascal Siakam and Boucher with the blocks. And even though like Pascal didn't get any highlight type of blocks this game, Boucher definitely had one I mentioned earlier against Korkmaz, and he's like one of the leading people in that category and getting blocks on the perimeter. And I want to see actually how many blocks Pascal Siakam. He didn't have any blocks today now. VanVleet had a block, Anunoby had a block, and Boucher had 3 blocks. Yeah, 5 blocks. And
it's a block party, guys. It's a block party.
It's a block party. And Pascal Siakam played 40 minutes, and I told you guys already, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists.
Man, I just want to say I'm glad that Pascal Siakam is finally emerging, man.
I'm happy for him.
I'm finally seeing
he's coming back. I just hope he makes an all-star game like on the bench.
No, but I also hope to see this in the playoffs too. Like
or not, I had to laugh. I don't know if you're joking or not. So I had to.
I mean, like we're the 4th seed. We're tied for 4th in the East. I feel like we should at least get consideration for 2 players off our team to make it to the bench on the All-Star game.
I think
I agree.
Freddie will get a nod.
Yeah, Freddie will 100% get a nod. Yeah,
Larry's been hurt. I mean, for some of the season now, so I think his All-Star run is done for the season. I don't think he's going to get it. But I do definitely think Fred VanVleet or Pascal Siakam will get in, especially if they keep winning like this going into the All-Star break. Bembry, 19 minutes had 8, 4, and 2. Anunoby had 10, 6 in 30 minutes. And Aaron Baines had 8 and 5 in 29 minutes. 4 for 9 from the field. And this
is the one time I will not throw him under the bus. Mark the time. It is 11:03 on February 20-something. I am putting Aaron Baines under the bus.
I will tell you who my guy under the bus today is. My gold stars go to Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, and Chris Boucher.
Man, screw this shit. You pick 1 star.
I'm gonna have to go with.
Okay, I'm gonna
This is
go.
a-
I'm gonna go
I'm
Chris
going Chris Boucher because he hit those big threes in the fourth
Yeah.
to give us that a little separation. The guy I'm throwing under the bus, even though I don't want to, because he's had a good elite streak of scoring the past like 20 games almost. I'm gonna go with Norman Powell this game because he couldn't make a shot for his life. And even though in 26 minutes he had 11 points, 2 rebounds, we're used to him averaging 20 points right now on a regular
Mhm.
basis. He had 30 in the last two
Mhm.
games, and yeah, I'm gonna have to go with them today.
I think the guy I'm gonna throw under a bus is gonna be Norman as well. So it won't be Aaron Baines. It's gonna be Norman Powell. It's just cause we have high expectations for him. And then he went kind of cold today. So yeah, I'm sorry, Norman. I love you and all, but you're under the bus today.
Okay, Anujan, same thing.
Yeah. So Norman is pretty much the guy I'm throwing under the bus.
Yeah.
And for me, it's either honestly, I'm just gonna go with Freddie. Honestly, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with Freddie because he hit some really
Crucial shots.
crazy threes. Yeah,
When we needed
and I
them.
had to pull out this too because
Oh shit!
I
The
gotta
championship ring.
remind everyone.
Freddie,
It's because of Freddie. He came through in the clutch
he
in the
hit those big.
finals.
He hit those
Yeah.
big shots in the first, like he did in the finals in the fourth, right?
Yeah.
You were saying Seth Curry. You know, he's been a pretty decent, a solid 3-point shooter. He was 4 for 12 from the field today, 2 for 7 from three. He had 12 points only in 35 minutes with 6 assists. Tobias Harris only had 13, 4, and 7. 13 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists in 37 minutes. He was 1 of 9 from three. And Joel Embiid, he had a monster game. 36 minutes, he had 25 points, 17 rebounds.
Mhm.
And Ben Simmons flirted with the triple double, or at least a double double. In 38 minutes, he had 28 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. All in all, dope win. You know, this is something we needed because once we get that taste, once we get that taste of being over 500 again, now we can start. Now the real season. Now the real season begins. Yeah, cook it up. Real season begins right now. The real season begins. We're playing Philadelphia again on Tuesday night. What are your thoughts? What are your predictions for that game?
Man, so Anuja, I'm gonna start off.
Yeah.
I originally thought that that we were gonna take today's L. Sorry, I thought we were gonna take the L today, but you know what? I'm all in right now with the Raptors. I
Yeah.
think
Me
we're
too.
gonna win.
Yeah.
But hey, let's just hope that we translate the same game plan we had today to, I believe it was Tuesday, right?
Same intensity,
Yeah.
same game plan. I know you're off camera. You mentioned you were nervous, and I'm like, bro, don't be nervous when it comes to the 76ers because we've been living rent free in all their minds since 2019, since upsetting them in that playoff run and winning that final game 7 at home with the buzzer beater by Kawhi Leonard.
I was nervous because I'm like these lead chains are like so inevitable, like they're so
Inevitable, yeah. Like I mean, you think we're not going to come back because of what we did in the beginning of the season,
yeah.
but their play right now is so stellar. They're on point right now, and you can never count them out with any lead right now. The way they're playing, and Philadelphia, you know, they had these droughts today where they couldn't score, and the Raptors capitalized. And if they can come out with the same game plan next game, I think we can make it 5 in a row because we just won our 4th straight game, and we should be good to go. I think hopefully Larry's back for next game, to be honest.
Yeah. I hope Larry's back, but I also think we could probably win the next game because this is like sort of like the Bucks, like the 2 games we faced against the Bucks. Like we got the formula of how to win against them.
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't know. I feel like we'll come through.
You put the same game plan that you did on
Exactly.
on Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
You get him out of there, and then
Exactly.
you just gotta focus on Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
But the only thing is the shooters, sometimes they're hot, sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
Luckily they weren't hot today.
Yeah, the only difference, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be the same next game, but they didn't have a bench this game. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that might be a different story, but who knows?
Jake Milton came in and hit a couple threes. That was
Yeah.
about it. That was the
Yeah.
only big thing. Thibault
I
came
hope
in.
Larry comes back, though.
Yeah, Thibault came in, Thibault came in and he got like 3 fouls in like 30 seconds against Norman Powell. And like that was his highlight of the night. But
sick, yo. I don't know what happened to him.
But you know what? The Raptors, though, they got a highlight win over the Brooklyn Nets, over the top 3 teams in the East. Brooklyn Nets, Brooklyn Nets, Milwaukee twice, and Philly once. Brooklyn once, Milwaukee twice, and then Philly once.
Philly once.
We also lost to Philly once. We lost to Milwaukee once. Boston's the only one. Only Thorn.
Yeah, man.
Gotta figure out.
It's like the least
Yeah, I
of
know.
thorns.
Like, exactly. Right. That's what it feels like right now. Like we can't figure them out. And like they're so discombobulated when they play the Boston Celtics. Like they don't know what they're doing. And obviously they got good defenders against Pascal, but that's another podcast for another day when we play them again. We'll be looking for a redemption. But all in all, we'll be back here Tuesday night for the Philadelphia game. You're gonna see that second W for us, and we're gonna cook them up like we did today. And hopefully, like we mentioned earlier, Lowry's back. But yeah, any final thoughts before we shut it off?
We're cooking it up right now, guys. We're cooking it up.
Finally over 500, 16-15 record, fourth in the East. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's to come on Tuesday night. But if you guys, you have something to say?
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Yeah, if you enjoyed this podcast, I'm so excited that they won. I'm so excited they won. I can't even talk right now. I'm cross-eyed. If you enjoyed this podcast, hit the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Enjoy this podcast every single day. You got my lit podcast host, Big Boy Bravs. You got Thanos. We're ready to go. And we'll see you back here Tuesday night. Till then, stay blessed, stay woke, and please stay safe. Peace.
Yes, sir.